You guys, it's been about maybe 10 days since I last vlogged. I'm gonna try vlogging over a longer period for this video. I find it difficult to get enough footage for a vlog because I feel my life is so mundane, which is not a complaint, but I assume it's not very interesting to watch. But I feel as if maybe people feel like comforted to see someone else's mundane existence. Not that your existence is mundane or boring. I think you know what I'm trying to say, just daily existence. I do prefer vlogging when I have free time though, and surrounded around reading. As for reading, over the last 10 days or so, I've been reading The Feast by Margaret Kennedy. When did I start this book? I picked this one up after finishing The Woman in White. I'm not enjoying this one as much as I enjoyed The Constant Nymph, which I read earlier this year. This one, The Feast, we have like a whole cast of characters, and they represent the 7 sins. So there is like a fable-like tone to this story. And for me, it's almost coming across a bit pedantic. However, I really enjoy Margaret Kennedy's, the way that she writes dialogue. I think it's very sharp and witty, and I also think very realistic, and she pulls it off so lightly, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm enjoying it, not loving it, and it is taking me longer than I expected to finish it, but most likely I will finish it today. Based on how close I am to the ending, I don't think it's gonna rock my world or anything. I don't think I'm gonna change my opinion and suddenly love it. A lot of people told me that this is not a spooky summer read, and I agree. It feels more like a fable, like I said, a moral tale chastising us. I did find the prologue to be quite eerie though, where it was, I think the minister was writing the sermon for these people's deaths. So you know from the very beginning that all these people are gonna die when a cliff falls on this seaside inn in Cornwall. And then we kind of go back in time and learn more about the characters. And it's almost like, you know, these characters have been punished because they represent the sins, the 7 sins. I still think that this is a good summer read though. And then I did pick up Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky the other day after finishing The Possessed by Witold Gombrowicz. I loved that so much, guys. I think it was my favorite book of the year. It brought me so much joy. I love reading anyways, but every time I had time to go pick up that book and start reading, I was like, I actually tried to read it slowly so I could be in it longer. But the day that I finished it, I think I stayed up until like 3 a.m. just reading. I then went and read the foreword by, I forgot his name, but he writes the foreword for the Fitzcarraldo edition and also the edition that's in North America. Can't remember who publishes that one, but it's the one with the red castle on it. I enjoyed learning a lot about Witold Gombrowicz in that foreword, and also the circumstance in which he was writing and publishing that story. He published it anonymously under a pseudonym. It seems like he didn't care to claim it until like right before his death. Maybe he wasn't proud of the story. It wasn't of his typical style. I haven't read his other work, so I can't compare. I think that freedom of not having to carry the burden of his name and its literary reputation, I think his writing benefited from that. Just like in the story, there was this side comment about how the tennis players play better in unofficial matches because they don't have this pressure to beat the opponent and be the champion. So the players enjoy it more, the audience enjoys the games more. I liked how that part of the story mirrored the circumstance under which Gombrowicz was writing the story. Anyways, what I was saying about Castle Gripsholm, I think I picked this one up mostly because, yeah, I have been wanting to read this for the summer. It's about a couple that goes on a summer vacation to a historic castle in Sweden, and they get involved in some local drama. They come upon a girl fleeing a cruel headmistress, and they take it upon themselves to save her. And I think they get involved where they're not needed and kind of make a bigger mess. I'm totally guessing. I think I only picked this one up though because it says castle, and I wasn't ready to say goodbye to The Possessed. I only read until page 20, but to be honest, I was not paying close attention after I finished. So the story opens with these letters going back and forth between a publisher and Tucholsky. And the publisher is asking Tucholsky to write a romantic story, a story that will sell, that will make the publishers money. And Tucholsky kind of responds cheekily. So there is kind of like this meta aspect to the story. But then once chapter 2 started, I like tuned out. I kept thinking about The Possessed. So I am gonna go back and read from the beginning again. This happens when I'm really stressed or have a lot on my mind. I try to sit down and read, and even if the story I've been loving and it's engaging and interesting and good, my mind always wanders and I think about other things or what's bothering me. In this case, I was thinking about The Possessed. So yeah, I hate when that happens. I always just go back and reread what I was tuning out. A lot of people actually tell me that they want to get into reading, but their mind wanders, perhaps in a similar manner. If you find that that just happens all the time, or you find that you have trouble focusing when you're stressed or you have a lot on your mind, I recommend meditating. I think it's a great tool. It'll help you clear your mind, focus better. In my case, perhaps it will allow me to move on from The Possessed. Hello again. I disappeared momentarily because someone just came over to inspect my chimney. Not someone. Chimney sweep? I feel like that's wrong. Anyways, I didn't want him to think that I was yammering to myself. So an hour later, I wanted to continue what I had touched on earlier. A lot of people, especially young people, tell me that they cannot focus when they try to read. I think that this could be for a myriad of reasons. And yes, perhaps a short attention span is one. I also think that people just have a lot on their minds. People have a lot to deal with, a lot on their plate. And what sucks is, despite getting a moment of rest or free time where it's not conducive for you to fixate on what's bothering you, you're still thinking about it, mulling it over. It's taking up all of your focus. Like I said, sometimes my mind also wanders while I'm trying to focus on reading or focus on really anything. I'm sure you guys are aware that I love Headspace. I've been using them for over a year. I love their sleepscapes. I love their meditations. I love their focused soundscapes. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically ambient noise that you can play in the background while trying to focus on reading or any other task, work. I also like playing them before bed while reading because some of them are really cozy. Even if I need to sit at a desk for hours and get some work done, I will play a focused soundscape in the background. Don't underestimate even just 5 minutes of meditation a day. And if you find that you still can't empty your mind in those 5 minutes, keep at it, don't worry. Just 3 days of Headspace have been proven to increase people's focus. If you think those peripheral thoughts are taking center stage too often, ruining your focus, you could also try Headspace totally for free for 60 days. That's 2 months of full free access instead of the usual 2-week trial that they offer. As always, I'll have the link in my description box and the QR code on the screen. And thank you, Headspace, for working with me on this part of the video. Can someone tell me why cats love laying next to shoes? I don't understand it. And it's not just Violet. Other cats also do this. Right? Violet. Violet, over here. Excuse me? Okay, unfortunately, I need to do my most dreaded task of the week. I feel like I'm always filming myself doing this. I only do it once a week. It's almost dinner time. I was going to reorganize my bookshelves because I want to move some things around. But before that, I want to figure out what I should eat for dinner. I didn't go grocery shopping since before the 4th of July. And I don't want to go today because it's Sunday. And I know that's when most people go grocery shopping. I really want to eat, maybe I'll order something. I really love Jersey Mike's. Do you guys like Jersey Mike's? Do you have Jersey Mike's where you live? I hate Subway. And this runs deep because there was one summer I was staying with my aunt in Korea. I remember she asked my mom, like, what kind of food does Melissa like to eat? And my mom was like, Melissa likes Korean food. Like, just like, you don't need to worry about that. But I don't know, for some reason, I guess my aunt didn't believe that because I swear that summer, unless everyone was having like Korean fried chicken or pizza, either my aunt would make me naengmyeon, which I do love naengmyeon, but I think my mom had mentioned to my aunt like, oh, Melissa will eat anything, but she loves naengmyeon. And at that time I did love naengmyeon a lot. Or she would order me Subway for some reason. Bless her for trying to buy me the food that she thought I would like the most and be comfortable with. And, you know, going to the effort of buying or cooking 2 separate meals, but I don't even eat Subway in America. After that summer, I was totally like, I never wanted to see Subway again. But I remember, I think last year I was talking to my friend Emily and she said, we were talking about Jersey Mike's for some reason and she loves Jersey Mike's. And I remember last summer I tried it for the first time. I never wanted to try it before because I assumed it was like Subway. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have Jersey Mike's. I'm gonna order Jersey Mike's. In the meantime, I'm going to reorganize my bookshelves. I want to remove my Toni Morrisons. On the shelf, I used to have my Toni Morrisons and also my vintage heroines. Because my Persephone books are kind of the same size as my Archipelagos and my Dorothys, this is not all of the ones that I have, but most of them. And the reason why I didn't put them all together is because I wanted to put my Edward Goreys on this shelf. You know what, I might do more rearranging because I need to find somewhere to put these that fit all together. This is fine for now though. These are all of my Edward Gorey illustrated covers by Doubleday Anchor. These are not all of my Edward Gorey covers because I have some old vintage hardbacks that he also illustrated, but I have all of my hardbacks in a specific spot on my bookshelves. I don't like mixing hardback and paperback, so these are all just the pocket paperback Anchor Doubleday, plus this one, which is not Doubleday. This one is vintage. I'm gonna donate some books I've already read and don't feel I need to hang on to. Someone else can read them and enjoy them. So I'm gonna go through my books and do that. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but okay. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what I got. I always get a cookie because I can't help myself. I got the number 4, obviously, Mike's Way. I added banana peppers and the hot red pepper relish. I took out the onions. I think that's it. Oh, and I always get the rosemary parmesan bread. Oh, I added pickles this time and tomato, or I kept the tomato. So yum. Okay, but what I like to do, these chips, this is why I can never find my chocolates. I like to put these on the sandwich for extra crunch. I saw a girl doing this and my life has been changed since. Wait, I feel like they made my sandwich extra special today. Okay, I need to be alone. I'm back. I just got this in the mail and it says it's from HarperCollins. I didn't know they delivered on Sundays. I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming it's a book. Oh, okay. I bought these myself. These were not sent to me by Fitzcarraldo or HarperCollins. After reading, wow, this came really fast. After finishing The Possessed by Witold Gombrowicz, I checked Fitzcarraldo to see if they had anything else by him. They don't. The only thing that they publish that's written by Gombrowicz is The Possessed, but they did have this biography about him called Outsider Everywhere, Witold Gombrowicz in Argentina. And this was written by Mercedes Haffen. So this is Fitzcarraldo's nonfiction, as you can tell by the white cover. And this is a translation, I'm assuming from Spanish. It does not say on the book or the inside, but I'm assuming this is not a translation from Polish. Mercedes Haffen is from Argentina. And I believe this is a biography about Gombrowicz, but specifically his years in Argentina. This is a gripping portrait of a literary figure on the margins who rose to prominence late in life to become one of the greatest novelists of our century. This is another nonfiction, Pretentiousness, Why It Matters by Dan Fox. I actually almost bought this the other day in a bookstore. I thought it looked interesting, some thoughts to mull over. What is pretentiousness? Why do we despise it? And more controversially, why is it vital to a thriving culture? And Dan Fox is a writer, filmmaker, and a musician. I have A State of Siege by Jeanette Frame. Before I see what the book is about, I like to see some info on the author. So Janet Frame was from New Zealand. She wrote an autobiography called An Angel at My Table, which was adapted for cinema. This is going to be playful, thrilling, psychological. The main character, Malfred Signal, once her mother dies, she leaves her birthplace and moves to a beach cottage. She feels that she's freed from the dominating presence of her family, I'm assuming after her mother's death. She hopes at last to be alone with nature and the room 2 inches behind the eyes, so her mind. She's seeking solitude, but that solitude mocks her with echoes of her past when an intruder pounds ceaselessly on her door. Okay, very intriguing. I have Balsam Karam's Event Horizon. So the author here, she is of Kurdish ancestry, but she's lived in Sweden most of her life. She's a librarian, university lecturer, and Event Horizon is her literary debut. So this is about a 17-year-old girl, Mild, who is from the outskirts. Outskirts is capitalized, so it's the name of a place beyond the mountains where the dirt is corpse rich, where mothers and daughters banished from society make their living without rights, access to care, or legal status. But Mild refuses to accept this existence, and with 2 friends, she revolts against the government's injustice. And she's given a choice, a public execution or participation in an experiment where she will be sent into space, into a black hole. I also have The Disappearing Act by Maria Stepanova. So she is a Russian writer, poet, essayist, editor. She is a prominent critic of Putin's regime. So she was exiled from Russia and she's now living in Berlin. Okay, so this sounds a bit meta. The writer is known as M and she's living in exile while her home country wages war on a neighboring state. Racked by shame and severed from her language, M finds herself unable to write. She somehow gets stranded in a foreign city, phoneless, untraceable, but she feels a flicker of liberation, the possibility of starting over. But memories from her childhood, books, films pull her back. And then I ordered The Son of Man by Jean-Baptiste Del Amo. So Jean-Baptiste Del Amo is from France. And this is about a father who reappears in the lives of his wife and his young son. And he takes them to like a secluded mountain or something? Haunted by his past and consumed with jealousy, the man slowly sinks into madness, and his son has no choice but to challenge his father in an attempt to save something of their humanity. I'm the most excited about Outsider Everywhere. I love taking long, silent walks. I don't listen to any music or anything. Also, I changed into like leisure wear to walk around in because I was wearing a short nightgown earlier and no one wants to see me walking on their street like Dobby. Oh no, I lost my spot. While I was eating my dinner, I started this book. Well, I did read about one chapter of Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky. I don't dislike it. I love like a dry humor, and maybe this is a German thing, but the dry humor here is very, very caustic, very sarcastic, and it is fun to read. But I don't feel like this thrill in my soul the way that I felt with The Possessed. So I don't know, I wanted to pick up something that's more of an entertaining plot, I guess, that would kind of have me like hooked. So I did pick up Ravenswood, which I had put on my TBR for July. This is by Jeanette Louise Roberts, and I flew through this so quickly. I'm already on page 54. It is very, very easy to read, very contrived story. We have this young lady, a redhead in London, and she is like a spy. I think she's spying on the French for the English. She doesn't want to get married. She loves her independence. She has a younger sister who is bedridden. She is very sick. Their stepfather is taking care of them, and he is getting sick and tired of taking care of her, what's her name? Catherine. Catherine's sick little sister. And so he wants Catherine to hurry up and get married because he's running out of money to support them. He wants her to marry a rich guy. You know, Catherine has been getting loads of offers for marriage by every available man in London. And so she decides to accept one from a guy named Ravenswood, Lord Simon Ravenswood. And the reason why she chooses him as her husband is because he's known as a player in town. I think it was saying how the gossip around town says that he has like a French lover or something, or what was she Italian? So Catherine assumes that, you know, Lord Ravenswood will have his mistresses and she'll be left alone to do what she wants, to continue spying. But you know, the story is very contrived, and it seems like Catherine is already developing feelings for her husband. Who would have known? He's over 6 feet tall, nice, handsome, brooding. Anyways, it's been a fun read so far. I do like how in all of these stories there is a very obvious attraction between like the handsome male character who's always like dark and brooding. And the dark and brooding one always ends up being good in the end, and it's always the nice guy, his counterpart, that ends up being the bad guy. But at the same time, the threat in the story, it's always encompassed in the man and what he brings to the table, what he wants from our female protagonist. He is threatening his power, status, money, his always spooky haunted mansion. And also, even more threatening and ominous is the cloud that shrouds him, because you can never know his intentions. I don't know, it's just like so fun. Oh wait, I'm back because I wanted to say that I'm gonna wear this perfume, Ephemera by Source. I've been wearing Ephemera and Vampire's Wife quite a lot lately. Also, String of Lights Through the Forest. That one by Source. I'm not sure if that's the exact name. I got this perfume last year. It was part of their fall perfume releases. And this is a pumpkin scent, but it's not a pumpkin spice scent. It is a green pumpkin. So imagine you're carving an actual pumpkin. That's what it kind of smells like. Also a lot of cloud-like vanilla, maybe something papery. So even though this is a fall scent, it's not a typical fall scent just because it doesn't have those fall spices like cinnamon, clove, ginger. This is a gourmand that I think you can wear all year round. When I do smell it, I feel nostalgic. I'm wearing this, but I am staving off the fall spirit. I'm not gonna indulge in fall until, I was about to say August, but mid-August. I just think that I need to live in the moment and appreciate where I currently am, which is summer. It is like 90 degrees outside. I just need to embrace the wonder, the coziness, the nostalgia, all things good that summer also has. But let me tell you, once Halloween and Christmas roll around, and I feel like that just makes the spirit of fall and winter all the more special. Anyways, I'm still wearing this fall perfume. It's like afternoon right now. I did not sleep well last night, and I know why. It's because I had my coffee after 1 or 2, and I'm really sensitive to caffeine. So yeah, I think I slept like 2 or 3 hours last night. I had to get up really early. Now it's later afternoon. I'm about to go to the pool. I don't know if I'm gonna get in the water because this morning I did have to do my hair and my makeup. And I don't know, it seems like redundant. It seems redundant to wash my hair twice in a day. Anyways, last night, because I couldn't sleep, I did get pretty far in Ravenswood. I'm on page 110 now. This book is so silly and contrived. However, it's not horribly written. Like, the prose is not horrible, just the plot is a little bit corny, which I find interesting because I'm sure back in the day in the 70s, this was considered kind of like fluff writing. If anyone was present back then, let me know if I'm correct. But you know, the writing is not horrible in this book. There is a stark difference between this kind of fluff writing and today's modern day fluff writing, which is kind of sad. Anyways, I'm entertained. I think I'll bring this to the pool because it's such an easy read. But I also want to bring Castle Gripsholm too. I did read 1 chapter of this last night as well. Because the humor of this book is it's subtle in a way that I'm not familiar with. It's like a scathing. Sometimes like a character will say something and I'll be like, wait, what do they mean by that? And I'll have to reread it and then understand the joke or like whatever commentary they're trying to make. I don't know if this is the one to be reading at a pool when my brain is running on two hours of sleep. I'm bringing the goods with me. Face sunscreen. Well, I also put this on my face as well. The UV Sport from La Roche-Posay. This is the Edam Daily Sunscreen and Blurring Primer. This is actually supposed to be for your face, but it's way too shiny. I want my moisturizer to bring the glow, and then I want my sunscreen to pretty much do nothing. I don't want it to mattify. I don't want it to add glow or shine. I have some watermelon. Maybe I'll bring that. I'm going with my friend, so I'll ask her if she's hungry.
For doing like bikinis with the tie back tops.
Oh, that's cute.
Or, like, swimsuits with
And yeah, and like the bottoms.
Do you want to read the first page and see like how readable? Because Agatha Christie, I think, is pretty.
No.
Hey guys, I'm about to try to sleep because I didn't sleep well last night. I want to get to bed early tonight. Well, it's not that early now, but I just want to sleep as much as I can. Tomorrow I have to be out most of the day, and I would prefer not to feel like that groggy, out of it feeling all day again. Anyways, I read mostly Ravenswood while at the pool, and I'm now on page 132. It's interesting, like it's entertaining enough, very easy to read while outside. I could possibly finish this
tonight. I do want to try to read at least one chapter of Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky tonight though. So maybe I'll read a chapter of this and then focus on this. And I think I can finish this tonight. I wanted to show you guys some Lush stuff. Have you guys ever tried the Lush massage bars? They look like this. They're basically these solid oil blocks and you rub them on your skin and they immediately start melting. They're so rich and emollient and nourishing and they smell amazing. My favorites are Coconut Drench for the summer. This one is not Coconut Drench. This one is Deep Sleep. To me, it kind of smells like a lavender peppermint, or maybe it's lavender chamomile, just a relaxing scent. And it used to be textured, but obviously I've used it. I love Coconut Drench. I love the turmeric latte one for fall, winter. I'm telling you, the smell. Temple Balm Dream Time. I think Lush changed the packaging for their solid perfumes because this is the same as the Rose Jam and Karma solid. And I know a lot of people dislike it. It's like a push pop. I don't have a problem with the packaging. I think it's functional and works well. It makes sense to me. I rub this on my wrists, my neck, and my temples. Just a very relaxing scent. Totally unnecessary, but they do put me in the mood for a good sleep. And now I'm going to read for a little bit until I hopefully fall asleep. Hey guys, I just got home and I immediately changed out of my clothes. By noontime, I realized that it's 100 degrees today. Yesterday wasn't too hot. I think it was 80s. I came home, put on lighter, more comfortable clothes. I also washed my bangs and styled them again, which is why they look like a mustache currently, but it will fall a little bit. Right now, I need to go grocery shopping and I guess I'll film myself cooking tonight. I really wanna make Ina Garden's summer garden pasta again. But since I'm pretty sure I filmed myself making that in the last vlog. So for some variety, I think I'm gonna make one of Alison Roman's soups, one of her stews, which I really like. I personally like eating soups in the summer. I've made her spicy pork soup, or is it a stew, twice before. Once I made it with pork and another time I made it with turkey, and I think with turkey it's way better, so I'm gonna do turkey this time. I also want to stop at the swimwear store. I'm thinking Frankie's Bikinis. I got my crochet cover-up skirt there and I love it so much. I always wear it when I'm wearing swimwear, and I also bought a bathing suit from there, but the bathing suit I got is super duper cheeky. Like, it's pretty much floss. I'm not always in the mood to wear a super cheeky bathing suit, so I want to see if they have ones that have just a little bit more coverage. So I'll stop there and then I'll come back and make my dinner. I did want to mention to you guys that I finished Ravenswood last night by Jeanette Louise Roberts. This book is hard to find today because it's out of print. And I think a lot of people covet this cover, which is, yeah, amazing. I also coveted the cover. So I think many of you watching will not have read this book prior. And I don't think many of you will read it prior, but if you did have plans to hunt down a copy to read, despite what I'm about to say, you still want to read it, I would fast forward because I'm going to give like a mild spoiler. The story is very contrived, eye-roll inducing, and that's not unexpected. And it's also, for me, not a dig. I picked this up to be entertained. And I was totally fine with the contrived plot until the male love interest. There is a part where I don't know if I can say that word on here, but he forces the female protagonist to do something. I just feel like it was so random in the plot, and having finished the story, so unnecessary. I'm like, why was that scene in there? Ew. He like snaps out of his moment or whatever, his anger, and he's all, oh my God, what have I done? What do you mean, what have you done? And then the female protagonist is all mad, and then she learns like further context to the situation. He ends up saving her from this other situation and she just forgives him. If you took out that part from the book, the story, like the resolution wouldn't have changed, because the female protagonist and that male main character, they were already having issues, so that we didn't have to pile that scene on top of it. It just felt like the author was romanticizing that, and I found that disgusting, just disappointing. So warning, by the way, as like a somewhat related tangent, these books are not explicit. Okay, it's kind of like things are implied, but still, ew. I was thinking of choosing another read to pick up, but I think I should just focus on Castle Gripsholm. I could probably finish this by tomorrow night. I have less than 100 pages left. Anyways, let's head out before it gets too late.
Teams is your favorite music. Commercial free.
I will show you guys what I got at Frankie's Bikini. I got more than I anticipated. I got 2 bikinis and some like cover-up type clothes. I don't have a lot of water adjacent clothes and I feel like I don't need a lot. Everything in there was really cute though. And now that I love summer, I have a new perspective. Also, the girls who work in Frankie's Bikinis are they're so sweet and cute. I got this set, very cute. I thought I could wear this to the pool and also as pajamas, and the fabric is so like cooling and soft. They didn't have my size in the top, but I feel like that's fine. So yeah, I was happy with this. I got this for my friend who's coming to stay with me next week. This is the Frankie's Bikinis Georgetown tee. These ones are a little bit cheekalicious, but I really liked the pattern of them. I'm really into blue and white. It has like a tie. And then the bottoms look like this. Okay, that looks really tiny here. And then you tie it on one side, which I thought was cute. They told me this is a collab with Paige Lorenz. Her collab stuff was so cute. One of the workers was wearing, what is it called? Like a poncho? It was like a lace poncho. It was beautiful, but they didn't have that in stock. That's okay. This one isn't as cheekalicious. And then I got the matching crochet top. Then I got this mini dress, light cooling fabric. I love like a mini dress that's long sleeved. I think it looks so retro. I was just telling my friend this, but one of my favorite things that people do is when you're driving and someone wants to merge in front of you or they want to do a turn into your lane and you let them, and so they wave at you. Or sometimes like when they're already in front of you, they'll roll down their window and like wave at you like that. I don't know why, I just think that's so cute. It's one of my favorite like little things that humans do. Oh, but one of my least favorite things is when you're at a red light and the cars behind, the cars waiting are honking for some reason. I know you see that the light is red, so what are you honking about? I also cannot believe when you're doing a right turn, the crosswalk is on, so people are crossing, and then the person behind you who's also waiting to turn honks at you. What are you honking about? Do you want me to run them over? It's apparent that a lot of people act more audacious when they're within the confinement of their car. I guess because they don't feel that they can be confronted. I feel like it just reveals so much about someone's character. Anyways, I thought I would share. Also for the pasta, make sure to boil it separately, not in the soup, because then the soup will get starchy unnecessarily.
You need a lot of grated Parmesan. Oh my God. I'm going to add all of the rapini.
And then we add a lot of cheese. Oh wait, I want to squeeze my lemon first. Then add cheese. And then I like to squeeze lemon again on top. Should I just put all the cheese?
I'm squatting, but I'm telling you guys, this soup is so good.
My AC is on. I hope it's not gonna make my camera wobble. Maybe I should sit on the floor. I did not You guys want to see Violet? I'll scoot over. I did not sleep well last night again. And you know what? I think I know what it is. I've been in denial. I think it's my mocha pot coffee. The mocha pot is what I use to brew espresso coffee. The reason why I switched to a mocha pot is, you guys remember when I was watching My Brilliant Friend? I saw Lenu and Leela, they were always using a mocha pot. Like someone would come over and they would sit at their table and pour the coffee from the mocha pot. I just love the analog nature of it. So I bought myself a mocha pot from, I don't remember the brand, but it's like the mocha pot brand, you know? It's Italian. And I bought Italian coffee to brew with it. And let me tell you, coffee from a mocha pot wakes me up like no other kind of coffee. As soon as I take the first sip, it's like, whoosh, I just feel enlivened and I become so productive and in a really good mood. Every morning I crave that caffeine kick. But I've noticed since I switched to the mocha pot and that kind of coffee, my quality of sleep has decreased quite a lot. And this has been going on for more than a month now. I just can't give up the mocha pot Italian coffee though. There was one time I went and bought a coffee with a friend in the morning and it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. I know I should stop drinking it and I'm already really sensitive to caffeine anyways. To be honest, I'm probably one of those people who shouldn't even be drinking coffee. Basically, I'm saying all this to say I think that's the culprit for my poor sleep quality. I wanted to mention last night I tried to read Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky, but I wanted to read on my Kobo and this is not available on Libby or Kobo Plus. So I thought I would choose another book that was either on Libby or Kobo Plus. So I chose William Somerset Maugham's Of Human Bondage and I didn't get very far. I read until chapter 3 and in the book, there's cat hair all over this. In the book, that's page 11. I'm enjoying it so far. His prose is so simplistic, if that makes sense. It's very observational and the sentences are kept very basic and short. I'm not hating it. I feel like it's a good bedtime read because your brain doesn't need to do somersaults to grasp anything he's saying. I did also read up on Mom's life last night. Anyways, right now I want to do a meditation with you guys with Headspace. I was telling my friend that I need to meditate more because I know that it's good for me, but sometimes when I sit and try to meditate, I get so like jittery. My thing is like, I love the ambient noises, the soundscapes. I love the sleep casts. Those I use during moments where I'm like, okay, now is rest time so I can do these things. But during the day, for me to pause and be like, okay, take 3, 5, 10 minutes and do a meditation, for some reason, I feel like almost irritated. Instead of focusing on the meditation, I think about things I need to be doing, stuff I don't need to be thinking about for like at least 3 or 5 minutes. I was telling my friend that it's probably a sign that I should meditate more often because it will be good for me. So let me choose something. Today's meditation is getting comfortable, but I want to... Let's look at the new and popular. There's one I like. It's called, I think it's called Alone Time, but I can't find it. I think maybe it's under quick meditation. Oh, there's one called Brushing Your Teeth that I like. I feel like I like meditating when I'm doing something else. Like there's one washing your face, brushing your teeth. They're only 4 minutes, but brushing your teeth, because, you know, you're supposed to brush your teeth for a set amount of time. That's why I like that one. Washing your hands, mindful coffee walk I've talked about before. Where is it? Oh, Alone Time. Okay, let's do this. 3 to 10 minutes. Let's do the 5-minute one.
So just taking...
All right, you guys are going to do this with me. I'll probably fast forward this, but...
So just taking a moment to get comfortable. We're going to start with the eyes open. Just a nice soft focus. Aware of the space around you. And just taking a couple of big deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, feeling the body expand. As you breathe out, noticing how the body softens. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyes. As you close the eyes, just taking a moment to pause, to appreciate that feeling.
Wow, I don't feel like talking anymore. Just a quick reminder, if you want to try any of Headspace's meditations, focus soundscapes, sleep casts, you can use the QR code on the screen or the link in my bio for 60 days, totally free. Try it out, see if it makes a difference. I guarantee it will.
Now it's later in the evening. I think it's not as hot outside. I'm gonna go sit out at the pool and read for a little bit. I wish I could bring my cats with me, but I don't think they want to be there, so. I was there much longer than expected and it was so hot. I ended up getting in the water. I didn't dunk my head, but I think I need to wash my hair. I got really into Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky. I just had to sit and familiarize myself with the tone and also the characters. But once I did, after like 10 more pages, I was like hooked. His sense of humor is so funny. I know Tucholsky, his life was quite a tragic one. I think he's known for his personal writings, like his diary. And I feel that this is such a whimsical, humorous, fun, cheeky, even a little bit magical summer read. It makes you laugh. It's so good to read by the pool. It feels like quite wholesome with some poignant parts and also some very insightful commentary on society and individuals. I find the feat of him writing this book, despite living such a tragic life, to be remarkable and also incredibly moving. I absolutely recommend this read for you guys. Only have about 20 pages left. I would have finished it there, but I got so hungry and the sun is going down right now, so I need to eat my dinner. I recommend this to you guys if you're looking for an entertaining summer read, something that you can read in one sitting, like on a pool day, beach day, if you're spending time out in the garden, or just like a day off, a Sunday. I'm excited to see what the last 20 pages hold. He does reference Platt German a lot, and I did Google that. I believe Platt German is the dialect of northern Germany. The narrator of this book, he mentions how a lot of people look down on Platt German, but he admires it. I find that interesting. His girlfriend, the princess, she speaks in Platt German, and obviously I'm reading an English translation, so it wasn't really clear to me that she's speaking in a different dialect. I'm curious about that. I'm curious what the reading experience is like in German. Obviously I will never know, but if any of you have read this in German, I would love to hear your thoughts. Immediately I need to go eat myself a big bowl of soup. Sorry guys, I don't have the strength in me to grate cheese.
The nerve to be in my business right now while I'm trying to eat. I always try to get her off the table. No. It's unbelievable. This is why people say, what do people say? Never eat at other people. What? This is why I never eat at someone else's house or something. Because like their cat is on the counter. Okay, it's not cute anymore. You gotta go. Do you guys want to see my treat freezer drawer? Having one of these. Should I have a blue one? Okay. Yeah. Hello. I meant to vlog a few clips earlier this morning, but I was running late, so I did not. So it's later in the day. I did finish Castle Gripsholm by Tucholsky last night. Overall, I really did enjoy this. In fact, I would say I loved it. However, towards the end, there was this weird part that I thought was so random to include. If you've read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why did they do that? I also read the introduction by Michael Hoffman, who's the translator, and I think I touched on the translation work about how the narrator, he always references Platt German, or he also says Low German because his girlfriend, the princess, speaks in Low Platt German and he finds it charming. And he mentions how some people, I think, look down on it. Reading it in English, there's not really a distinction between the way that the princess, the girlfriend, talks and the other characters in the book. So I think in English, that dialect, that distinction is lost. When she speaks, she is very humorous and straightforward, blunt. So yeah, Michael Hoffman, he does touch on the translation work. So he says the particular difficulty in translating this book has to do with what is perhaps Tucholsky's greatest gift as a writer, his ear for speech. And he does say in general that Tucholsky's writing is difficult to translate. He says in particular the dialect, the North German dialect, the Plattdeutsch in the book, that is the main problem. If you have read Thomas Mann, who wrote The Magic Mountain, which I have read a while ago, his translator H.T. Lowe Porter says frankly that dialect can never be translated. By the way, Lowe Porter was also translating from German. Thomas Mann was a German writer. He says it can only be got round by a sort of trickery which is usually unconvincing. Hoffman says that here with Castle Gripsholm, he tried to use as little trickery as possible though. He says that to try to create something corresponding in English would be distracting, paradoxical, and absurd. He says instead that he decided to aim for an understanding of the meaning of the German, and mostly he wanted to capture the princess's spirit, her pace, her tone of speech, her humor. He says her irreverence. I like this part. He says he still thinks it's possible to hear the book, like hear the heart of the book, despite not understanding its exact original locality. He also touches on Tucholsky's life, which I already had known was a tragic one because I had read up on him before starting this book. He also talks about, I guess, the extended allegory of the story. And while reading the story, the irony wasn't lost on me of the characters returning to Germany, to Berlin after their vacation, and how Tucholsky was never able to. He lived in exile, actually in Sweden. Actually, I think he lived, if I remember correctly, he lived where this book is set for the rest of his life. So that's quite ironic and feels very tragic, bittersweet. And of course we have the headmistress of this girls' school who is extremely cruel to these innocent young girls. She's fastidiously stuck in her ways and tradition. There's a part where she remarks on how the two main characters, the princess and Peter, she remarks how they're not married because they don't share the same last name. She's really bothered by that. I don't want to spoil the story, but it's unfair that she's able to get away with what she's doing. Despite the sobering extended allegory, this book is just so funny and light. It feels very summery, almost a little bit magical with this castle and the two characters trying to save this little girl. I really enjoyed it, but besides that random strange part at the end. And also, the narrator, he does make odd comments every now and then that are kind of misogynistic. I felt that that was done on purpose to make fun of his character, because every time he makes a little quip like that, he gets put in his place by the princess, by his girlfriend. Lastly, one thing I noticed and want to mention is the ephemeral quality of Peter and the princess's relationship. Very unserious, unsentimental, impermanent relationship, and they know it, and it doesn't really seem that they care that much. They're just enjoying each other while they're with each other, and I feel like that speaks to the nature of summer as well, the ephemeral quality of summer. How obviously I hate summer, but you know, summer represents those happy, carefree days in the sun. Summer is often used in literature to represent childhood, happier times, but summer will end, and that's just a fact of life. There are other beautiful seasons to enjoy. There are future summers coming. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I liked how their relationship kind of mirrored the nature of summer. Anyways, I recommend. And then I did read more of Moms of Human Bondage during lunch, but I didn't get that far. I'm on chapter 7 now. To be honest, I'm a tad bit bored by the story, but I'm not disliking it. I just feel I can't wait for the main character to grow up. There's a lot of groundwork being laid in the main character's life that will further explain, I guess, the way he acts later in his life, which is where we will spend the most time, him as an adult. So I'm kind of waiting for all of that to wrap up to get to the, I guess, main portion of the book. Also, maybe because his prose is so simplistic and straightforward, I find it a little bit boring. Since I'm reading Of Human Bondage mostly on my Kobo and sometimes from my physical copy, I want to pick up a second read. I'm thinking of these 3. This is like Battle of the Independent, women-owned feminist press. This is printed by Quite Literally Books, and they focus on bringing back into print American women authors. This is The Pink House by Nelia Gardner White, and I think this is about an orphan who goes to live with her aunt, and they're just weird and cruel. The ladies who work at Quite Literally Books told me that this can be described as a soft gothic. I have Crooked Cross by Sally Carson, and this is obviously a Persephone book. I have heard great things about this. In fact, someone commented somewhere where I mentioned this book saying that they found it similar to Catalan Street by Magda, and that was one of my favorite reads from last year. I know this is set during World War II as well, so I'm excited about this. And then lastly, I have The Morgesons by Elizabeth Stoddard, and this is printed by Dandelion Press. If you don't know Dandelion Press, they put a lot of effort into like the design of their printing. So for example, they already have an ex libris here for you to put your name. I appreciate how intricate they make the design of their books. We have some supplementary material as well. This is about 2 weirdo sisters growing up in New England, and it says that they break the mold. Which one should I read? I think I'm gonna do a poll on Instagram. I'm back because I want to show you my outfit, which I think is really cute. I bought both of these from, I forgot the name, Fruity Booty, and Booty is OO. Wait, isn't that, wait. People always ask me about like my white tops, so I thought I would share. What I really love is this little skirt. It is super micro, but I love the embroidery on it. I think it looks so sweet. It is a skirt, so even though it's super short, there is something underneath. I think some of you women will like this for yourself as well, so I wanted to share. I'm having a post-lunch, pre-dinner snack. I actually really don't like eggs. I very rarely eat eggs, but I like boiled eggs, but they have to be boiled through. I don't like a wet yolk. It's tricky because you don't want the yolk to be wet or damp. Ew. But you also don't want it to be too overcooked. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, okay. It's a little bit, tiny bit overcooked, but the yolk is dry. just laid out and swam a little bit. I'm going out for dinner, so I'm going to shower and get ready for that. And I think I should end the vlog here. But I wanted to mention at the pool, I began The Pink House by Nelia Gardner White. And I'm on page, let me put my sunglasses. I'm on page 45, chapter 4. And immediately I can tell that I'm gonna love this. I feel so tenderly towards the narrator, our main character. She is essentially orphaned, but her father is still alive. It just seems that he no longer wants to take care of her. And she's handicapped. She cannot walk without crutches. And so her dad's sister, so her aunt, takes her in, and she has several cousins, and they're all quite cruel. In fact, the entire family is quite cruel, except there is an Aunt Pole. She is Nora's aunt by law through marriage. She's quite cold and harsh as well. And at first I didn't like her, but I'm starting to come around to her. She's one of those no-nonsense people who are actually pure intentioned. So far I'm loving it. I feel like I'm getting really lucky with all of my summer reading picks. I mean, even 40, 50 pages in, I can't believe this has gone out of print. From what I've read so far, I think if you love a strong narrative voice and coming of age stories, I think if you are someone who has had a love of books and reading from a very early age, I think you would find some of Nora's discoveries and comments very touching and relatable, like I do. I feel very tenderly towards Nora. So far, Nora's only 7 years old, but this was described as a soft gothic romance to me, like I said. So I'm excited to come of age with Nora and see where she goes. I can't wait to come home after dinner and get into bed with this book. Sorry, William Somerset mom.